No, 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 no. No, 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 no. You guys already know what time it is. Today I am filming another fall makeup tutorial. I know I'm hitting you back to back with fall makeup looks, but it's because it's my favorite season. Probably say that in every video, but I'm definitely getting like pumpkin spice latte vibes, cranberry vibes, all the vibes. I'm really in it. In today's video, I really wanted to just focus on using some newer products. Today I did use the brand new whatever palette by ColourPop. I actually used a few products from that collection. Also used some Revolution Pro products. They did just come out with a pro line, so I dabbled into that a little bit. I did touch on my thoughts as it relates to the products, but I'll continue to try them out and let you guys know how I really feel about their pro line in a future video. But if you guys are excited to see this look, get this look, then definitely subscribe to my channel because it is free. You know what else is free? That little bell right there. So make sure you click it so that way YouTube will notify you when I upload, which is every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. With that, I'm gonna zoom you in just a little bit closer so that way we could work on the look. So I'm gonna jump into things. The very first thing I'm gonna do is prime my eyelids. Now, I'm gonna use this brand new product. This is the Revolution Pro Eye Elements. It's in the shade Core and it's an eyeshadow primer. This is from the brand new Revolution Pro line. I did find this at Ulta and I was literally blown away. I wanted to get everything, but fun fact, I did try to film this video a few days ago and I got an eyeshadow palette from them. I do want to warn you guys that it's not the best eyeshadow palette. It's the Earth and Stone palette, so I won't be using this in today's video. I'll be using a different palette. I really wanted to use that one, but it's just not the business. So anyways, I'm gonna take the eyeshadow primer and I'm gonna put it all over my eyelid. If this eyeshadow primer reminds me of anything, it definitely reminds me of my MAC Soft Ochre paint pot. Like just the consistency overall, it really mutes out my eyelids and it covers any discoloration and veinage. Like it looks really good. I'm really obsessed with the consistency of this eyeshadow primer. Might be my new go-to, but we'll see. Since I'm not going to be using the Revolution Pro eyeshadow palette, I'm going to use this palette right here. This is ColourPop's brand new whatever palette, and I thought it was so cute. I really love the flowers. I love the cheetah print trim on the flowers. Very cute. And since I've been doing so many like green eyeshadow looks, I felt like it was only right that I do more of a mulberry, very burgundy eyeshadow toot for fall. So I'm going to be using this palette today. If you do have a So Jaded palette, I feel like you can create a very similar look with some of the burgundy shades within this palette, but I do intend on creating a video with this, doing like 2 looks 1 palette very soon, so that's the only reason why I'm not using this today. The first shade I'm going to take from the whatever palette is a shade right here. It's called Copycat, and I'm going to use that as my transitional shade, so I'm just going to rock it back and forth in my socket. Now the reason I'm going straight in with this eyeshadow as opposed to going in with the bone colored shadow is because I do find it to be a lot easier for me to blend very neutral shades in my crease, whereas whenever I work with color, I always make sure I lay down a very thin layer of shadow in my crease just to help me with blending. I really don't play with color often, so I feel like that is a really good safety net for me in order to make sure my eyeshadow look looks amazing. But I will definitely say this eyeshadow is blending out very nice. It looks very fresh, very like peachy, but like warm at the same time, which is definitely my vibe. So far, you guys, I really feel like this eyeshadow is blending very nicely over top of this eyeshadow primer here. It's not skipping, it's not getting weird, it's not tugging in like different places, so I'm really happy with it. The next shade I'm gonna take is called Pass It On. This is a really pretty warm tone brown, and I'm just gonna use this in my socket. I really want to take more of like a pointed brush like this. This is a small tapered blending brush, E45 by Sigma. And as you can see, I'm really just focusing it here in the crease. I'm not really taking it above that transitional shade. I'm just switching over to a smaller brush now. This is an M507 and I'm really just gonna concentrate on really building the shadow up. I really want this look to be intense and dramatic. I'm definitely getting like pumpkin spice latte vibes. And before I continue, I'm just going to take a clean brush and really just blend out this very inner corner because it's looking really stark and harsh. And even though I can clean it up with like a little bit of my foundation, I just want to make sure it's nice and blended before I continue. So now it's time to really go in and start smoking things out. I'm gonna take this shade called Bad Guy. It's a really beautiful deep burgundy shade. I'm gonna take it on a M514 brush. It's a little bit more of a smaller version of like an E40 by Sigma. So I'm just gonna tap here closest to my outer V. And I'm just gonna go in circular motions here just to deepen things up. I want to know, like, whenever the fall season rolls around, do you guys gravitate more towards just like neutral eyes? Do you like cranberry eyes? Do you like green eyes? I would love to know down below in the comments. For me personally, I just really love switching things up. I really love creating just different eye looks in general because I don't really play with color often. So whenever the season changes, I'm like, okay, I want to do cranberry, I want to do green, I want to do like brown, I want to do smoky eye, like, you know. So I'm gonna go back into my M507 and I'm just gonna lightly blend a little bit of that cranberry upwards just because I feel like the line was looking a little stark and harsh. So at this point, we're really smoked out. It's almost a little alarming, a little intimidating, but I'm gonna take this shade right here called Miss Brightside. Miss Brightside, the darkest shade in the palette. Hello, I'm gonna take the M507 brush and I'm gonna kind of pinch my outer V with this color. I'm really gonna start deepening up this area here. And I'm just gonna start by pressing it, really packing it on before I go in and start blending. Gonna go right back into an M507 and I'm just gonna take a little bit of that shade called Mrs. Brightside and I'm just gonna bring it in a little bit. That's kind of where I'm going to stop because I am going to cut my crease. I'm going to use the brand new Revolution Pro Ultimate Coverage Crease Proof Concealer. I did pick mine up in the shade C2. The packaging is very similar to the IT Cosmetics concealer, the waterproof crease proof concealer. So we'll see how this compares to it. I'm going to take a flat brush and again, I'm just going to use this concealer to cut out a little bit of lid space. Now that my crease is nice and cut, let me just say this. I really like to use a thicker concealer to cut my crease. Like, I don't do it often, but after doing it with this product here, I feel like I have more control over the concealer, whereas if I use concealer that is a little bit more fluid, I feel like it kind of just goes everywhere and it's hard to control. Like, girl, what? Is this what the P. Louise base is like? I really want to get that. You guys have been telling me to get it in the comments and I'm going to do it. I think I'm going to, you know, go all in and get that concealer because you guys have been raving about it in my comment section. Now that I have some lid space cut out, I'm going to take this shade right here. It's called Ditchin' You and I'm going to pick it up on a flat brush. I am going to spritz my brush with a little bit of the Catrice Prime and Fine. I actually really do like this stuff and again, if you haven't tried it, you guys definitely should because I feel like it's going to rock your world. I'm going to just first start off by tapping this color closest to the concealer. I'm really focusing on taking this color maybe about midway. Then I'm going to switch shades. I'm going to pick up the shade right here called Not Okay. I'm just going to flip my brush over and tap this in the center. And the last shimmer I'm going to take onto the lid is this one right here. It's called TTYN. Don't know what that means, but I have a little bit on my finger and I'm just gonna tap it or that copper in the burgundy me just to give it a better blend. And you could even do this with a flat brush. You really just want to soften this line right here so that way it melts into the matte eyeshadow. I am going to play around with a new eyeliner. This is by Ulta Beauty. This is their Highline liquid eyeliner. I'm not entirely sure if it's brand new, but I do know it's at least new to me. So I am going to go in with this and create more of a wing. I'm actually interested. Ooh, that's looking pretty black. So we're gonna wing it out. I think I wanna do more of like a smoky wing though. So no, we're gonna go intense cat eye wing. Am I the only one who saw that? Look.
Bruh.
No. Not using this. It's really black on my hand, but over top of that shimmer, it's like non-existent. So backtrack. So I've come to the conclusion that the solution for this is a smoky wing. So I'm gonna go right back into the shade called Mrs. Brightside. And with kind of like a flat definer brush, this one is by COLLAB, I'm just going to pack this on right here. And I'm gonna bring it in a little bit like that. Now after placing Mrs. Brightside, I'm gonna go in to the Sultry palette by ABH. I'm gonna pick up the black shade within the palette. This one is called Noir. And I'm gonna use that same brush and I'm gonna start packing it closest to my lash line. And I am gonna do this at more of a slant just because I do like my eyeliner to be slanted. So it should look a little something like this. I know it looks a little wild, but it's a part of the process. I'm gonna go in with an M507 and then just lightly start blending out that black eyeliner. Then I'll go in with a little bit of a liquid eyeliner. This one is by ABH. Again, one of my personal favorites, and I'm gonna use this in the very like inner part to connect it with the black eyeshadow. So it should look something like this as opposed to this side. Still looks a little wild, a little crazy. My wing is definitely connected, but like towards the outer V, it kind of gets a little bit more smoky, which is exactly what I was going for this look. So I'm gonna do this side off camera and then we'll come back and continue the look. So I did already pop on falsies. I'm just using these by Lily Lashes. These are in the style Mykonos. Now I haven't blended my lashes in with the falsies with mascara simply because my eye's kind of watering over here. So it's a little bit irritated. So with that being said, I am just gonna go into primer. I'm gonna use this. This is a brand new primer by Revolution Pro. Look how big this primer is, you guys. It is unreal. This is the biggest like blur stick I have ever used. Now I know in my last declutter video I said I wasn't the biggest fan of stick primers, but I was really interested because of the size. Like this is like a jumbo version of like a Milk makeup stick, if that makes sense. So I'm going to twist it up. Ooh, is it supposed to do that? No? Am I breaking it? Looks like I'm breaking it. So I finally got it to twist up, and there is so much product in this blur stick here. Now it says it comes with 1.06 ounces. I'm gonna twist it down because I don't need that much. And I'm just going to put this all over, I guess. One thing I want to know is that I don't have any active breakout, so I'm not like too concerned about like cross-contaminating it. Also want to know, I have never tried any of the Milk makeup like blur sticks. So I have no idea if this is comparable. If you guys have tried any of the blur sticks from Milk makeup, let me know if you feel like this is like somewhat comparable. This is like interesting though. I definitely feel like it kind of smoothed out my T-zone, which is nice. I'm probably putting on way too much. I also want to know, when you put on a blur stick, are you supposed to blend it in with your fingers, or is just putting it all over like straight out of the packaging good enough? Like I never know, so I want to know what you guys think down below in the comments. I'm just gonna use my fingers just because it feels right, and I want to make sure it's like even. It also kind of like mattified my T-zone as well, which is something I'm into because my T-zone tends to get pretty oily throughout the day. Now that I'm nice and primed, I am going to go in with a little bit of color corrector. I'm going to use our brand new No Flaws liquid color corrector. This one's in dark peach. I've recently been using a little bit more of a darker peach under eye color corrector off camera though, not on camera because I couldn't talk about these until now. These do launch this fall, so definitely be on the lookout. And the reason I've been using a darker peach is because I feel like it really does a good job like covering up underneath my eyes. The only thing I will say about using a darker color corrector is that you really don't need all that much at all. Again, this may even be like a little bit too much in this area. So I'm just doing 2 little swipes, and then I'm going to take a brush like this. This right here is a Precise highlighting brush by Smashbox, and I'm just going to use this to just lightly blend this out underneath my eye. Again, using like an orange, a peach, a salmon colored concealer underneath the eyes is really going to cancel out all the blues and greens. So that's really all you need in that area right there. Now usually I'll take my color corrector and I'll put it on my upper lip and right here alongside my mouth because this is an area that does tend to be a little bit darker than the rest of my face. So I'm going to use dark peach and also just our regular peach concealer, and I'm going to mix the two together in that area just because I don't want it to be like too orange. So I'm going to do about 2 dots, and then I'm going to go in with our lighter peach and mix them together. Ooh, looking good, feeling good. Now for foundation, I am not gonna use a brand new foundation. The reason being is that sometimes when I do like these full face of first impressions where I test out a bunch of different products, I don't really love to do like foundation powder and all of that stuff because sometimes it's hard for me to gauge what's working, what's actually not working. So I'm gonna use a foundation that I recently tried and tested out and I really, really loved. This is by Revolution, Makeup Revolution. This is their brand new Conceal and Hydrate foundation. I have two shades, F5.7 and F6. So I'm gonna mix the two together and I'm going to cover up all of this mess because I look really, really crazy right now and this is not a look. So today I'm just applying the foundation with my fingers, which I know is really, really weird and strange because this isn't something I typically do on camera, but I don't know, there's something about applying your foundation with your fingers that gives you more of like a skin-like finish and it just looks super, super natural because your fingers are really melting the product into the skin. Then I'm going to take my sponge and just kind of dab it over top of my foundation just to get rid of any of like the fingerprints or streaking that I may have caused when applying it with my finger. This is just going to even everything out. But so far I think my base looks really good. For concealer, I'm going to use the brand new Revolution Pro Ultimate Coverage Crease Proof Concealer in the shade C2. I'm going to take some on the back of my hand, warm it up with my fingers, and then just use it to really cover up all of this color corrector. Wow, you guys, this is a really, really beautiful concealer. Like, it looks so natural and it's blending really nice into my skin. I am going to switch to using a brush so that way I can get super close to like this inner corner and my lower lash line because I have nails. It's kind of hard for me to get to this area. And with the sponge, I'm just going to make sure everything is nice and even. Whatever's left on my sponge, I'm just kind of patting it on my T-zone and my chin to brighten these areas. That concealer shade is just a wee bit light for me, but I could definitely make it work for this video. I'm going to go in with my Charlotte Tilbury powder. This one is in the shade 1 Fair. And with that e.l.f. sponge, I'm going to pick up some of the powder and I'm actually going to use this to set underneath my eyes because I don't want to bake necessarily. I really just want to set this concealer in place without looking too powdery. I still want to maintain like a natural, very skin-like finish. I'm really just going to concentrate this underneath my eyes. So I can't even lie, I kind of went ham when it came to setting underneath my eyes just because I don't really want that concealer to budge at all. I'm now going to go in with another Charlotte Tilbury powder. This one is in the shade 2. And I'm going to take my e.l.f. Flawless face brush and I'm just going to lightly dust this all over. And when I say lightly, I mean lightly. I don't want a powdery look. So I'm just gonna lightly dust these areas so that way I can go in with my highlight, blush, and contour. I'm also gonna take a little bit of that face powder and use it as my brow bone highlight. And this is just gonna help the shadows blend a little bit better into my brow bone. For bronzer, today I'm going to use this little duo by Jouer. This is the light to medium duo in Sunlight and Suntan. Honestly, I really just like to take my brush and dust it in both of these and use this to add some warmth to the face. I like that it is light to medium. It's the perfect shade for my skin tone. Not too dark, but also not too light. Really, really nice and buildable too. You know, I gotta do a little nose snatch. From the Revolution Pro line, they do have something called Skin Finishes. This one right here is in the shade Radiance. This is so beautiful. I swatched a tester in store and I was literally blown away. Do you guys see that? So I am going to use this as a highlight. I'm going to use the Sephora number 98 Pro highlight. And I'm just going to pop this right here. Oh my god, I'm in love. I'm obsessed. I need every single one. Wow. I will definitely say a little bit goes a very, very long way, you guys. So definitely go in with a very light hand. I'm also going to take a little bit of this right here. Just a little bit on my nose. Whatever highlight I use, I also like to pop it in the very inner corner to act as like my inner corner highlight and just draw forth more light. So for blushes today, I do have quite a few blushes from the Whatever ColourPop collection. They all look very, very similar. No idea which one I want to use. Actually, this one looks like it'll be really, really pretty on the cheeks, and it's not too dark. This one right here is called Thanks from the Mishish. Literally, that's what it says, with 2 M's. This right here is one of the Super Shock Cheek Blushes. Ooh, y'all know I love a good peach blush. So the brush I'm going to use to apply it with is a Pro No. 3. This is by BH Cosmetics. Actually, after looking at it, I think I can go just a little bit darker. I'm going to go in with a little bit of this shade. It's called She's in Bold. And again, using that same brush. Ooh, yeah. Okay. Just gonna take a little bit of powder to just blend up my blush a little bit. And to be honest, it's taking me so long to do like my lower lash line is because I'm really debating as to whether or not I even want to put shadow on my lower lash line. I think I'm gonna skip it completely and just do a little bit of mascara because it's very, very different than what I typically do. Like no shadow on my lower lash line. Who am I? We don't know her. The mascara I'm going to use on my lower lash line is this one by IT Cosmetics. It's a collaboration with the Dry Bar, I want to say. This right here is the Lash Blowout Mascara. Like, how cute, right? Super cute. When I got it in PR, I was like, wow, I love that. So for my lip color, I'm just going to use a MAC lip liner. This is in the shade Chicory. You guys, this is that color for fall. It is so pretty. So I'm actually just gonna go in with a little bit of Night Moth directly over top. Like I'm literally just gonna lightly go over the shade called Chicory, just because I do want more of an ombre effect. So here we go. Now I'm just gonna go in with a pencil brush and I'm just gonna kind of blend out the lip liner. And then I'm gonna go in with a Milani lipstick in the shade I Am Radiant directly over top. So I went ahead and zoomed you out just so that way you guys can kind of get a feel for the look as a whole. I will say I didn't think I was gonna love this look as much as I do. I really love how clean the lower lash line is. Normally I kind of connect, smoke it out, make it very sultry and sexy, but today I really wanted to do something different and I'm definitely feeling it. I also really love the winged eyeliner. I love that it's not such a stark, harsh wing and it's kind of smoked out towards the end because it creates more of a softer look and feel. I would love to know what you guys think about it down below in the comments, and if you have any other like color scheme recommendations for fall, let me know because I love creating fall looks and I definitely don't want it to come to an end. I want to film more videos just like this, so leave me your recommendations. Thank you so much, greatly appreciated. With that, I'm gonna go. I don't have much else to say except I love you. Thank you guys so much for watching as always, and until next time, I'll be sure to catch you guys all in the next one. Deuces.